In a small village nestled among the mountains, there was an old abandoned mansion that everyone avoided. Though the house was in ruins, its walls still stood tall, and in one of its rooms was a massive ancient mirror, shrouded in a heavy, dark cloth. Rumor had it that the mirror wasn't ordinary. It captured more than just the reflection of anyone who dared to gaze into it. The story of the mirror had been passed down for generations. According to the village elders, it once belonged to a woman named Isadora, renowned in her time as a medium. During her séances, she used the mirror to communicate with the dead. But one fateful night, something went horribly wrong. A group of attendees claimed the candle flames suddenly extinguished, and the mirror began to emit a strange noise, like a distant whisper. When the lights returned, Isadora stood frozen before the mirror, her eyes hollow and her face twisted in an expression of pure terror. She never spoke again. From that night on, the mirror was left in the house, gathering dust and fueling dark legends. They said that anyone bold enough to uncover the cloth and look into it would hear their own thoughts, but twisted, as if someone else were inside their mind. Some even swore that the reflections didn't mimic the movements of the viewers. They did something else, something horrifying. Daniel, a skeptical young man with a taste for dares, decided to see for himself if the tales were true. For years, he had heard the rumors but never believed them. One night, armed with a flashlight and a camera, he ventured into the mansion. The air inside was heavy, and the silence was deafening. Daniel moved through the dusty hallways until he reached the room where the mirror supposedly stood. There it was, cloaked in its dark covering. Setting up his camera in front of it, he yanked the cloth away in one swift motion. The mirror was enormous, its gilded frame adorned with grotesque figures that seemed to writhe under the beam of his flashlight. For a moment, everything seemed normal. His reflection stared back at him, and Daniel let out a nervous laugh. "Just a bunch of old stories," he muttered. Then his reflection smiled, though he hadn't. Daniel froze, his blood turning cold. He stepped back as his reflection maintained its sinister grin. Slowly, the figure in the mirror raised a hand to point directly at him. Daniel didn't move, but the reflection did. "What?" he stammered, and suddenly, his flashlight began to flicker. The reflection took a step forward as though preparing to step out of the mirror. Daniel turned to run, but a deafening noise stopped him. A scream echoing from everywhere and nowhere, reverberating deep inside his own head. The next morning, villagers found the mansion empty. The mirror, however, was once again draped in its dark cloth. No one ever saw Daniel again, but some swear that if you approach the mirror on quiet nights, you can still hear the screams of those trapped within it.